One of the steady features of coordinate geometry question is a question of a line. Okay, let's see. So we have point A and point B, and we have coordinates, and we can read them as well, -5 and 3, and 2 and 0, are the 2 points on the coordinate plane as shown in the diagram below. So first thing, we need to find the slope of the line AB. How do we find the slope? We go to our table, and we get the formula for the slope. So we write down the formula. Now, next thing, what do I need in order to use this formula? What are those letters? What do they represent? Well, those are the coordinates of 2 different points. That's the reason why you have 2 and 1. Now, does it matter which point is first and which point is second? No, it doesn't matter. So we can pick, that should be X. We can pick any point. It's a good thing to write the list like that to make it easier not to make a mistake. So let's say A will be the first point, so -5 and 3, and B will be our second point, so 2 and 0. So let's replace those letters with numbers. y2, 0, minus y1, and y1 is 3. x2 is 2, minus x1, and that's -5. Don't get caught with those minus here, yeah? And then we put that in the calculator, we press equal, and we get is -3/7. Okay, and then the next part. Hence means what? With the knowledge we just acquired, meaning having the slope of AB, we have to work out the equation of a line, and then there are terms and conditions to our answer. So how do we write equation of a line? We go to our coordinate geometry in the table, and here we have 2 formulas for the equation of a line. So which formula do we use? Now, by the default, I can tell you that majority of the time we're going to be using the first formula. Why? Because for the second formula, we need this value here. And this value here, this is where the line cuts the y-axis. Now here, we don't know exactly, and we need to know exactly what that value is, because not 1, it's less than 1, we don't know exactly. So we go in for the first formula. So again, what letters do we replace with numbers, and what letters stay? So in like every equation that has to do with coordinate geometry, we're going to have letter X and letter Y. They will remain letters. However, the rest of the letters we're going to replace with the numbers. And our slope, there it is, we have it. And then X1 and Y1 are coordinate of a point. Does it matter what point? Well, no and yes. It is a point that has to be on the line. And we have 2 points. We have point A, point B. We can pick any of them. Okay, so let's go. Y minus, let's use our y1, which is 3, equal our slope -3/7, then bracket, x remain x, minus, and then x1 is -5. Okay, what do we do next? Where are we going with this calculation? Well, our answer have to be given in this specific form. So we are looking at, oh, why did my minus disappear here? So we are looking at what we have and what they have and what's the difference. Well, we have bracket, they don't. So we have to get rid of that bracket. That means we have to multiply by this number in front of the bracket. So y minus 3 equal, and then -3/7 by x is just -3/7 by x. And then we put in the calculator -3/7 multiplied by -5, and we press equal to get our number. And we get -15/7. Okay, what's the next thing to do? Well, the next thing to do is that all our numbers on one side of the equation, while here we have them on 2 different sides. So I need to move numbers around. Does it matter which side? No, it doesn't matter. So let's say we're going to move -3 and we're going to move y. So this side of the equation, I will have nothing left, and nothing in maths is 0. Then we have -3/7x -15/7, and then we move y. What happened? Change the sign to the opposite. Here it is positive, become negative. And then -3 again, when we move, we change the sign, so negative becomes positive. Okay, now let's just arrange that. So first, value with x, -3/7x, then value with y, And then our two numbers, again, we put that minus 15 over 7 in our calculator plus 3. We press equal and we get that is plus 6 over 7. So we have this form fulfilled. Now let's look at the remaining terms and conditions. So here we are saying that A, B, and C. And what is A, B, and C? It is the number that stands beside X, beside Y, and beside C. In our case, minus 7 over 3 minus 1. Remember, when there is no number beside letter is 1. And then plus 6 over 7, that those numbers have to belong to Z. Now, if we don't remember what Z is about, we go to page 23 in our table, page 23, and there it is, we have our set. So we can see that Z, as you can observe, they are whole numbers. They could be positive, they could be negative, but definitely no fraction. Okay, so back to my equation. Now, the problem I'm having that I have fraction and I have a fraction. How do we get rid of the fraction? How do we get rid of the number at the bottom of the fraction denominator? We multiply by it. Now, the only thing we have to remember, I can multiply a question by any number I want as, oh, why did I write 3? It should be 7. But we have to do that to every element of the equation. So 7 multiplied by 0, that's still 0. Minus 3 over 7 multiplied by 7, that's where our 7 will disappear from the bottom. Minus 1 by 7, minus 7. And again, plus 6 over 7 by 7, that is 6. And now there it is, our equation in the form that they were looking for, fulfilling all the terms and conditions.